Alright. Well, hello. This was a real pain tonight trying to get some of this going. I'm doing everything on a Linux machine right now. You know, I got kind of bored with Windows a while ago. And now I guess I'm paying for it a little bit. But that's okay. I'm streaming tonight. I am going to be continuing what we did a few videos ago. And that was tearing down the Nintendo DS's so that I could start restoring them. Tonight is the first restore that I'm going to be doing. I went ahead and got a replacement touchscreen sensor. That's going to cover the bottom screen and replace the scratched one that I started with. We have a brand new replacement battery. This is by Cameron Sino. I believe that's how you pronounce it. From what I heard, they have the best aftermarket batteries, sometimes even better than the stock battery from what I heard. And we have a USB Type-C board that we are going to solder down in replacement of the proprietary Nintendo DS Lite charger. And we have an eXtremeRate aftermarket shell. So far, this is the only company that I really like when it comes to aftermarket shells. I've actually had a couple crack on me already from other companies and ended up just custom painting shells and replacing them myself. So I'll take this out so you guys can get a good look at it. I really liked this design, this black and gold waves, and it comes with some gold buttons. And it's even on the inside of the shell. It's a really nice setup. So I'm looking forward to putting it in this shell. I'm going to put it aside for right now because we have a lot of work to do with soldering. Well, not just soldering, but getting the board completely taken apart. This is the old scratched up shell. I'm gonna keep it to the side here just in case there's some parts out of it that I'm gonna need. And here is the red cover for the Nintendo DS Lite. Stock batteries, all the screws. We're not going to need all of those, but those are all the screws that came with the last set. Sorry, 3 sets. Last 3 sets. And let's see what we got here. One of the things that's going to be really challenging about this video is I have to remember where everything how everything was put back together. So there should be plenty of mistakes tonight, which is always fun for me. And there we go. Main board's out. Let's go ahead and get the 2 screws out of the, I believe that's not the main hinge, but that's where the LEDs go for the charging indicator. Now that side should just pop off, and out comes. This is hinged, I believe. Yes, I'm sorry. So this does have the hinge in it. The other side is not hinged. That's something I gotta get used to. This is the both the Wi-Fi and the microphone cable. Oh, and what I forgot is last time we actually took the top screen apart before we started routing everything through it, and that made everything a tiny bit easier. Trying to do this quickly, but I don't want to gouge any of the plastics. I'm getting halfway decent at painting, and I would like to take these plastics and repaint them. I've always had a thing for the stock shells. In my opinion, even if it is a well-made third-party shell, the stock ones just feel a little bit better. Right. Now it's just these 4 screws that were covered up. After we get these 4 screws out, you just have to slightly push the plastic down a little bit. And then it pretty much slides off. All right. So I'm grabbing this with and kind of just pushing my thumbs downward while pushing the back of the plate upward. As you can see right here along the top, it's split. And at this point, it's still a little tricky to separate. But the pry tool always comes in handy for this. There we go. We got the back piece off. And now we have the screen, speakers, Wi-Fi antenna, all displayed. From here, we should be able to take, I'm going to take this tape off just so we can see it a little bit better. But that is the tape that's holding down the speaker and the little bit of the Wi-Fi cable there. Okay. Carefully start taking the speakers out. The speakers are actually soldered onto the ribbon cable, so don't yank them out too hard. But then we should have access to the microphone. Which that's very soft. I'm trying not to yank on that too hard. Okay. And from what I can see, the microphone is actually routed underneath the screen. There's like a little beveled area right here. So before I can actually completely take that out, we're probably going to have to start getting the screen removed. Now right now I am just gently giving a push on the corners of the screen, and the adhesive's breaking pretty well there. You gotta be careful with this part because I don't want to put anything in between the plastic. Sorry, I gotta get that more on camera. I don't want to put anything in between the plastic and the screen and risk gouging the screen. So I'm just using my fingers to gently push this out. This is also a good screen. I don't want to risk cracking it. I don't want to crack the plastics either. Like I said, I'm going to try and reuse them for another project. But if I have to, I'd rather crack the plastic than the screen. So I'm just getting my pry tool in here very gently and just going along the edge to loosen up the adhesive. And there we go. That broke free. Now we should have access to the microphone. Which we can carefully route the wires out. They're a little bit tangled up there. I want to get that wire out as far to the left here as possible, and then it should just pull right through. There we go, microphone's out. Next thing we want to do is pull out the Wi-Fi cable, the black cable. Just doing the same thing, pulling it to the left. And gently pulling it out. We don't want to break that ribbon cable. All right. Now this part, I haven't really found the secret to getting this out yet. I know the ribbon cable has to go through this crack a bit. I'm just gently coaxing that out. Really take your time on that part if you want to salvage the ribbon cable at all. All right, after that part's done, we just have to roll it up. And push it through the metal hinge part there. There we go. Screen is out with the speakers. We don't want to lose these dust covers either. I bet you anything they do not come in the new shell package. So I'm just going to gently pop this one off and put it over to the side. And we'll go ahead and take... There is a cover over the screen here. I might need a little bit of heat to get that off. We're gonna mess with that a little bit later. For right now, I'm just gonna put the screen to the side. And we're gonna see if there's anything we need to notice here about the existing plastics. They have a pad here, so we want to watch out for that in the kit. We got our start and select buttons. I'll pop those out real quick. They also have their own membrane, and somebody left some hair in there, I think. Yep. Somebody's nice hair left their DNA in it. So everything will get a good cleaning too. The bottom piece has whatever this is. I'm actually not quite sure what that is. That's probably held down by this piece right here, which is the cradle for the pen, or sorry, the stylus that it comes with. And then we have the metal bracket right here, which is the protector for the cartridge slot, the Game Boy Advance cartridge slot. So I'll see if I need those in a second before I tear it apart. We'll check the new kit. So there's the plastics. We have plenty of extra screws. Here's our new buttons. This is not screws, by the way, I'm sorry. These are a lot of foam padding and adhesives that we're going to need. I saw those before. That is for the battery. And it looks like some of these might be hinge related also. The screws we're going to put aside. I like to use the stock screws if possible. So if we need the screws, they're there. If not, I'll have plenty of extra. All right, good. These pieces right here are the new stylus, the stylus cradle, and whatever that piece was. I'm going to have to find out what that actually is. We do have new membranes. I do like to try and use the stock ones. They typically feel a little bit better, but if we need those, they're there. We got a brand new metal plate. I don't typically have issues with those, so we'll use that. We have brand new adhesives and screen cover for the top screen. I think that's actually a bottom screen adhesive also. So we'll make sure that we put some brand new adhesive on the bottom screen when we clean it up. And that's it. So let's see if we can get the new screen. Should come apart fairly easy. Okay. Let's match up the stock screen cover and see if there's anything we need to pull over there. Yeah, it doesn't look like it. Oh. Yeah, there's one foam padding. We're gonna end up we want to try and set this back to OEM as much as possible. There's a reason Nintendo put that there. I don't know the reason exactly. That's something else I hope to research as I'm doing this stuff. But they put it there for a reason. So we're going to do the same. Sorry, I just checked my chat right now and I noticed it's not coming through on the stream. Or it doesn't seem to be. Oh, I saw you say, what does OEM mean? OEM. Oh man, I know this one. Wow, why can't I think of it? OEM is something about original manufacturer. Original equipment manufacturer is what it means. It's as close to stock as you can possibly get. I'm not quite sure why my chat isn't coming through stream. Let me see if I can fix that real quick. And let's see. I had such a hard time getting this going in OBS tonight, and it's a little disappointing to see something not working. Let's see, docs, custom browser. Well, that's a bummer. This means I won't be able to catch anything if anybody tries talking to me. The odd thing was it was working earlier today. Let's see. That's okay. I'll keep going here. I'll figure that out next time. All right, here we go. Now in the process, I just misplaced where that foam pad went. If you're just tuning in, I do this unscripted and unedited. I want you guys to see how doable this is for most people, especially people that are smarter than I am. Oh, here we go. This is my first time actually rebuilding one of these DS Lites. I typically start off doing a little bit of research, but not that much. I've been doing technical work for a lot of years here, and a lot of this just comes pretty naturally to me. But it's also part of the fun. You guys get to watch me screw it up. And then fix it until it's finished. Okay. I'm going to put this aside for just a second. And we're going to look at... Okay. We're going to go ahead and pop off the Wi-Fi card, which is this piece right here. Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's like I said, what really got me into this is I have all these tools laying around, and one of the kids ended up, I use a lot of this stuff for IT work every once in a while. And one of the kids ended up breaking their Nintendo Switches, their Switch Lites. So I took the whole thing apart, and I was like, oh man, I can keep doing this. And I wanted to get a Game Boy Advance for myself, but I wanted to modernize it at that point, and here I am right now. The reason I took off that Wi-Fi card, by the way, is so I can get to the touchscreen ribbon cable. This tab pops up, and then this super flimsy cable, which is a pain in the rear to get back in, should just come right out. All right. And then we can take out the ribbon cable to the LCD screen. There we go. Put the LCD screen aside, and we're going to take off that touch sensor here pretty soon. So, actually, let me get that out of the way because I want to use the microscope. Let's see what we got here. Okay. So, I want to take off this stock charging port, and we want to replace it with a Type-C charging port. On the bottom of the board, I'm gonna have to zoom out just a little bit here, bear with me. So let's start all the way. Okay. So on the bottom of the board we have what looks like 6 points. We got 2 on each side and then 2 on the back. And we're going to need to remove the solder from those. Let's see what it looks like on the front. And as you can see on the sides here, it's the same 2 points going through. There's 2 points here, 2 points in the back, 2 points on the other side. All right, where is... There we go. Our Type-C replacement. Oh, let me get that centered there. All right, So we have 2 solder pads on each side, and we have 2 at the bottom there. It should just be a direct replacement. This shouldn't be a big deal. So what we'll do is we'll pull this piece off. We'll clean up all the solder, and we'll re-tin it, and it should ideally just pop right on. Let's see here. My soldering station is currently set up at around 750. That's what I've found to be the easiest for me to desolder a lot of this stuff. I'm sorry, I can't really do this under the microscope, so you guys are gonna have to bear with me here. There we go, that's starting to flow. When you have such a hard time with solder, getting it to heat up properly, if you add a little bit of new solder to it, and some liquid flux, it tends to make things a little bit easier when it comes to taking it off. Liquid flux is a blessing and a curse in my opinion. Sometimes I actually like flux paste a little bit better. It seems to hang around a little bit longer, and I don't have to reapply it as much. What is going on here? Well, that's not good. It's not terrible though. It is not sticking to my iron right now. Let me re-tin this thing. I'm usually pretty good here about keeping my iron clean, but that does not look very clean today. There we go. We're starting to see a bit of a metal feel here. Oh, little spider on there. Oh, sorry. That was some squirrel action right there. Just saw a tiny little baby spider crawling across my workstation here. Alright, let's see if solder is going to stick to this now. So at this point, I'm going to take some solder wick, and we're going to try and clean up this solder as much as possible. And as you can see, it flows right into the copper wick. You got to be a little bit careful with copper wick. The heat travels up the copper extremely fast. I can actually feel it burning my finger a little bit. Okay. So as you can see, just doing that, this thing's about ready to fall out, which is great. Let me grab some tweezers because that is warm. You know, if I just use gravity, this might actually just come out if I... No. We use a little bit more wick here and try and clean it up. This just takes a lot of patience. If you don't want to go too fast on it. It's almost there. Oh, that's really hot. This one might be easier if I had an extra set of hands here to help me with it. Nope. Thought I almost felt it go through. There we go. Oh, no. Just gonna keep being patient here. And clean up my solder wick a little bit here. Let's see if we can soak some more into it. Trying to see what else is hanging on there. Actually, looks like it's just these far left ones. Well, sorry, depends on what side you're looking at it from. Right now, it's on the right. All right, let's clean this. That side definitely broke loose. There we go. Looks good. Let's go ahead and clean that up a bit here. See, at that point you can see all the holes through the mount points there. Yeah, it's looking real good. Okay. Whoops. Oh, that sucks. My soldering iron was loose. I've never had that happen to me before. Oh. Well, that was funny. So a good clean tip has that silver ending on it. It's tinned basically at this point. If your soldering iron tip is tinned, it's going to be a lot easier to get the solder to flow where you want it to. I haven't used my iron in probably 4 or 5 days, I think, so I guess that's why it's a little messed up today. All right, so we're gonna clean this flux off. I want to make sure that I'm working with nice clean contact points, using a little bit of rubbing alcohol for it. Oh, 750 degrees of Fahrenheit. Sorry, I'm trying to keep up with the chat here, but it's a little difficult tonight. 750 Fahrenheit. All right, let's see what that looks like under the microscope. All right. Yeah, that's nice and clean. I like that. Very good. So now we'll line that up real quick. All right. From what I can see here, we're gonna really need to pre-tin these. Looks like all the solder pads are on the bottom of it. I might even actually add some fresh solder to the bottom of this board. All right, let's see here. If you continue to watch me, this is in past streams, you'll notice that I frequently forget things that are right in front of my face. So feel free to laugh at me. I'm very thick-skinned. I have no problem with it. Okay, just a little bit of new solder there. And then let's add some flux. Just cleaning up my solder joints there. Yeah, let's see what we got. That's looking pretty good. Before I try and get these together here, let me go ahead and clean up all that flux that we just put on there. All right, how did I just misplace an entire canister of IP? There we go, it's on the floor. Okay. The hardest part about aligning this looks like it's going to be the two back ones. Except for the fact that I can't get these to grab. Yikes. Those two back pads are definitely the easiest ones to grab. I don't really like how the other pads are lined up at the moment. I might end up redoing this one, but that's okay. Yeah, they are finally pinching down, so that's good. Yeah, I'm not sure if I like that. It is making a connection all the way through. I can actually feel the heat. grab another one of these, make sure there's no sensitive contacts under it. It's just the 4, well, 6, 2 on each side, 2 in the back. As long as those line up right. There's actually a way to test this out. Pull out the multimeter. All right, I'm going to set the multimeter to resistance, and if both ends touch, we get sound. So we'll go on the back of the board. Sorry, this is hard to do with without something holding this for me. All right, that's good. That's connected. Wondering if those are all grounds and just mounting points. All right. Every single one of these. Oh, I see. I think they are just all ground. Interesting. I'll actually explain why in just 1 second. Let me just clean this up. Like I said, this is my first time doing this, and I'm doing it on video, so bear with me here. I'm as much learning this as I am showing it off. Okay. So this is the only point right here that when I touch the ground, the casing of it, it does not show I'm gonna use the wrong words here. It's not beeping. It's not showing resistance. But I could see that this trace right here are all these points. These are the grounds, and I can actually follow that entire trace. So I'm pretty sure this is connected correctly. Need to find the LEDs on this board. And I'll risk actually plugging it in. Bear with me 1 second. All right. Well, I got a battery here. Here goes nothing. Well, it's not sparking or anything. On my battery, it shows it's putting out 0.1 watt. What we can do is we can take this battery here, now it's at 2 watts, so I think that's making a good connection. All right, I'm happy with that. We'll get the LEDs back together here pretty soon and actually give it a much better test. The other thing I can do is I can actually look this up and find out what the charging wattage should be. Let's see. DS Lite charging wattage. 2.34 to 2.36 watts. So there we go. That's what we want to see. This one's going to take a little bit of practice. I think there's a better way to do this. I think next time I'm not going to pre-tin the main board. And what I'm going to do is just set this down and flow the solder through it. It's not as flat as I'd like it to be, but I don't think it's going to cause any issues. So we'll just keep going. Worst case, if it causes issues, I'll take it apart again. It's just going to be more practice for me. And clean this side of the board real quick. While I'm at it, I'm actually going to look and see if there's anything else that needs to be cleaned, since this was a used, refurbished Game Boy Advance. Might as well clean the entire board. Definitely want to get some alcohol in these contacts here. These are your up, down, left, right, D-pad, and then your A, B, X, and Y. And then one last thing I'd like to do is get a toothbrush. That's what I misplaced today. Bear with me, I'll be back. And I want to get into these ports very gently. I'm not trying to bend pins, but I want to make sure the cartridge ports are as clean as can possibly be. I can't get into this one very easily since it's a much bigger cartridge port, but I'll at least clean the back side of it. If I wanted to, I could bend this cover off. What you would have to do is, let me make sure I'm on camera here. What you'd have to do is you'd actually have to unsolder right here on the other side. And then if you slightly unsolder the back ones, this metal plate will lift up, and then you should be able to get in there and clean the pins if you absolutely need to. All right, where are we at? Soldering's done, we're getting charging. At this point, get some of this stuff out of the way here. I think we can actually start restoring into the plastics. Let me grab a towel and clean off my work area a little bit so I'm not scratching the new plastics. Okay. All right, we're gonna need a couple things here. Oop, broke a glove. All right. So this kit comes with a new top cover and adhesive for the bottom cover or touchscreen. Let's carefully get the top screen over here. Well, let's see what it's going to take to get this off. I'm gonna see if a little bit of heat will help with it. Well, I don't know actually. There's a lot of plastic underneath this. What I'm going to do is actually get some more pry tools out here. It's starting to lift up. One of the other reasons I'm trying to be so careful with this is that I really don't want to get any dust or stickiness on the LCD screen itself. I'm hoping that I can just pop this thing off, pop the new one on, and it'll look crystal clear and brand new. It's actually looking to start. It's starting to look like this piece needs to come off. It's actually coming off a lot easier that way. All right. And that screen looks great. It's crystal clear. Where the scratch lens is definitely the part that needs to be replaced. All right, let's see if I can clean this up carefully. It's amazing how good these screens look underneath all this. Very happy about that too, though. If I can prevent having to buy new screens, that's what I prefer to do. Now, if we're talking about like a Game Boy Advance or something like that, that needs a IPS screen to make it look modern, I totally get that. I'll always replace the screens. But these DS Lites, they're really, they do make IPS screens for them now. It's really hard to tell the difference though. I mean, you could tell the difference, but is it worth another $100 worth of screens? I don't think so. Usually each screen is about 50 bucks a piece from what I found. Now the Game Boy Advance screens, those are 50 bucks a piece usually too, and those ones are well worth it though. I haven't worked on an SP yet though. I'm not sure if it's actually worth it on the SP. I know that's a backlit screen. We'll find out. I'll get my hands on one eventually. Sorry, I'm just taking my time here. I don't want to mess up the screen at all. I want to make sure that when I put the adhesive on, it sticks flat. We're just going to take our time on this and make sure we get all this sticky crap off. It comes off pretty easy too. I'm not having to work too hard at this. I'm actually being pretty gentle with it. All right. Now we'll get a Q-tip with some alcohol in it. And we'll carefully go around the edges here. And that comes right off. Reason I'm being so careful around the edges here is I don't want to get any fuzzies on the screen if I can help it. I don't want to get any of this sticky residue on there. Okay. Yeah, see, I'm gonna have to get that corner right there. There was a dot of something on it. Well, luckily that came off real nice and easy. Very particular about my screens. I don't want to see fuzzies on them, nothing like that. Here we go. All right, I'm gonna try and get the sticky residue. Actually, don't know if that is sticky residue. Okay. telling you, there looks like there's a double side on this, but I can't tell. I don't think there is. Okay, let that dry for a second. Got a microfiber cloth for that. I mean, I really don't like that. Bear with me. I gotta look this one up. It just seems so hazy underneath that glass. DS Lite. All right. Well, we're going to move forward with this. And let's get a test fitting on this. Yeah, looks like it's going to fit okay. We're going to go ahead and get those speaker dust rings back in. I'm not going to press that bottom screen all the way down yet. Oh, forgot a ring. Alright, the next cable we need to get in is the speaker cable. Actually gonna pop this speaker out again. Get in the microphone first. And that does not want to go in very easily. Alright, let's now route the speaker. And the last thing we need for this is the Wi-Fi antenna. Alright, everything looks like it's routed through okay. Just trying to figure out this speaker wiring. Something doesn't seem to be sitting right because this won't go through all the way. Might be that the screen's slightly off alignment here. There we go. Oops. Okay. Good. Okay, the last thing we need to do on here is get this metal piece in. Okay. Uh-oh. No, that should be fine. Thinking I should have gotten this ribbon cable through before I set that screen down, but that's okay. We'll figure it out. Maybe. To be honest with you, this is really the only bad part of this build. Once I can figure this out though, it should be a piece of cake after that. Ooh. This is a part you just can't lose patience on. Yikes. Yeah, this is a part I definitely wasn't looking forward to. But it's okay. Yikes. Almost had it. You know what? Let's get that out of there. Almost through. There we go. What a pain in the ass. I got 2 more of these to do. I'm not doing them tonight, but they will have to get done. All right. Right now I'm just getting the bottom piece ready. We want to go ahead and get these cables pushed through. Okay. And there we go, that's down. Just trying to get all the cables carefully laid in their appropriate spots here. Okay. See if I can reuse the tape. If not, I got some fresh tape that we can put on here. Nope, that's wanting to curl up. That's okay. This stuff sticks really well. Okay. All right, most of the hard part is done. All we gotta do is get this cable through here. Which I have no clue how the hell I'm going to do that right now. Telling you, just getting this angle down sucks. There we go, maybe. Yeah. All right, now we just got to get these cables through. Let's hope I didn't screw anything up here. I don't like the way that black cable looks. Not quite sure why that's caught up in all this. All right, there we go. That was not fun. At this point, we should be able to put the back plate on. Okay. Now we just need to get the hinge in. And what we're going to do here is use the new plastic. We're going to pull out, let's see here. Sorry. We're going to use the new plastic we're gonna pull out the diffuser, the stock diffuser. I heard that the aftermarket ones really suck. So I'd like to try and do that. Let's make sure that's in the right way. No, Jesus. That looks right. And you know what? This one needed a new hinge, I believe. Yeah, the red one did. Did I get the new hinges yet? If I didn't, that's okay. This is a working hinge from another unit that I had, which is completely okay with me. I have a new hinge set coming, so but we got to make sure this is in the correct way. And I haven't figured that skill out yet, so we're gonna learn it together. Jesus. Really wish I could feel how this turns. There we go. Okay, so I do have it in the correct way. I haven't pushed it all the way in yet, and I'd recommend that you don't do that until you're damn sure that that's in the correct way. it's a tight fit. What I did is I turned this hinge down and I felt both clicks, and it should be the correct way. We'll find out here in a second. Okay. So there was 2 screws holding this in, and these were much longer screws. So I'm going to get these screws back in here. That way it's all held together. I'd recommend with any aftermarket third-party body or shell that you do not over-tighten the screws or cross-thread them. Once it stops, I'm only giving it the most gentle of turns until I don't want to put much pressure into that. I really can't stress that enough. So at this point, there's click 1, click 2. So those hinges are good. We're in good shape right now. Okay. We're pretty much ready to connect this to the main board. All we need to do is get the buttons and membranes in place. So let's see what we got here. Buttons are right here. I usually don't have too many problems with aftermarket buttons. Every once in a while you get a cheap set, but I haven't had any issues with the ones from eXtremeRate. So this set looks really good with the gold buttons on the black and gold body. So we're definitely going to keep them. And the membrane for this. I just saw it 2 seconds ago. At least I could have sworn I did. Let me clean up my mess here just a little bit. You know, it's funny, I don't recall putting anything away. Yep, there it is. I did say I was going to clean that though, because there was a loose hair on there. Plus, we want to get rid of any kind of finger grime that we can. It's really can't help that. If you actually use and play these things, there's going to be finger grime on it. All right. There's our D-pad. Oh, excuse me for 1 second. I do have to get the membranes. I put those in another box. I'm going to do the same thing with this one, get all the grime out of there. This one had some good grime in it, actually. Ugh. Yeah, same with this one. Okay. Yeah, look how dirty that is. That's always clean your membranes. Oh, that goes there. Means this one goes here. And the last thing we have to do is buttons. Okay, the reason I'm lining up this board right now is because they actually have labels here. I completely forgot which direction they go in. I'm some Nintendo fan, huh? I haven't touched this stuff in a long time. Like I said, I just got started with it again. So, SWX, SWY, SWB, SWA. So I'm gonna lay that right there just to help me remember which slots these go in. The other thing that the way these buttons are designed is they have ridges on each end. There's really only one way that these can go in, but I don't want to just sit here and fumble with each hole, so that's why I'm kind of taking the time here to make sure I got these lined up right. I'm kind of curious. Oh, see. Why isn't that right? It's because I'm looking at it upside down. Okay. I was wondering why I wouldn't go in that hole. It's because it's not where it's supposed to go. All right, so X should be up here then. There we go. Which one is this? This is A. That's perfect. And that just leaves Y. Okay. Put the membrane in. There we go. Most of our buttons are in place. What do we got next? Next thing would be to actually get the screen down. Let's go ahead and move that out of the way for right now. And we'll go ahead and put on our new digitizer. Okay. I'm trying to see how this goes. Yeah, that's right. The cable's just not bent the right way, but that's okay. All right. So we got the digitizer. But I'm not seeing the outer plastic rim for it. So I'm going to carefully take the old one off, which is black. Worst case, we can clean it, and then I have double-sided tape. Now these are all confirmed working parts, so I will keep these even though they're a little bit beat up. They'll always be good for some troubleshooting. Okay. I'm gonna double check the box that I got these in. Actually, I'm kind of shocked I didn't get any double-sided tape. I'll definitely keep that in mind for the next project, but like I said, I'm not too concerned about it tonight. Oh. I think this side actually comes preloaded with some double-sided tape. That's fine. The part that's not fine is I just forgot which side goes where. Okay, so there's the connection right there. Lays down like that, goes underneath. Okay. Doing the best I can to get this centered. There we go, that should do it. Okay. Okay, next step would be to get this back on. Let me see something here. It just sits on top of the power, doesn't it? I'm gonna get some tape here. Figure better safe than sorry. Especially with me being such an amateur when it comes to soldering. Better than a lot of people, but I definitely know I'm still an amateur. Okay. We'll go ahead and get the new old LCD, but new touch sensor installed on the board here. Okay, then we'll turn it over and we'll work on getting this back into place. This is the touch sensor ribbon cable. Yikes, okay. I have to flip that around. Come on. Be very careful with those tabs. You do not want to break those tabs off. Just take your time. If it's not going in, it's all right. It'll get there eventually. Okay. There we go. Let's make sure we're not missing anything here. Doesn't seem like it. I'm going to flip up the secondary screen port. I'll try and get that screen plugged in. This is another one that's always kind of a pain in the ass. I feel like to get in there just a little bit better. There we go. Perfect. Okay. I think I just routed that through the wrong way. I'm talking about the cables. But that's okay. There we go. Okay. Now would be a good time to test the screens, make sure those are working and functioning properly. Sorry, it's getting late for me. Before we do that, I believe we have to have the Wi-Fi plugged in. That is a requirement. Okay. What I'm gonna do here is try and prop this up just a little bit. We're gonna get the battery plugged in. And we're gonna turn it on. And we got nothing. Do we have to have a battery plugged in? Oof. Okay, we got 2 watts charging. Well, there we go. Oh, we got a busted upper screen. Okay. Hopefully I didn't damage the cable. That's a possibility, though. Let me see what we got here. Okay. There's a chance here that I actually just used the incorrect screen. Now I'm pretty sure that screen actually should have been working. Okay. Well, let's do the simple stuff first. Let's just reseat the cable. Oh, you know what? That does not look like it's seated all the way. Ugh. Okay, let's try that again. Okay. get that battery. Nope. Well, that's a bummer. Yeah, that looks like it's seated properly this time too. Yikes. The touchpad just came up too. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna take this other screen that I have here and we're gonna try and hook it up and make sure that we can get something working. Oh, yikes. This new touch sensor does not want to stay in right now. Making sure that's pressed down all the way. Oh my God, I keep ripping it out. I'll tell you what, we'll worry about that in a second. That's another screen I have laying around. We're just gonna test it out, see if it'll actually boot up a clear screen. Okay. One of these old batteries should have enough juice in it to do a little bit of a test here. Yeah, see, that top screen's bad. This is the one I remember not even booting up at all. Well, hopefully I didn't just ruin a ribbon cable on another one. We'll try reseating this cable one more time. Oh no, that's such a bummer. The only other thing it could be, I believe these actually have screen adjustments on them. There's a chance that's what that was. Yeah, it still doesn't look right though. Yeah, I don't like that. Oh well. Let me do some troubleshooting on this, and I'll continue this stream. Probably not tomorrow night, but I'll try and get this stream going again in the next couple days. I'll just have to do some troubleshooting, see if I accidentally screwed up the ribbon cable or not, and go from there. I appreciate anybody who came by and watched tonight. I'll be back soon. Thanks, guys.